Hey guys, welcome back to This Week in Housing for September 7th through the 13th. This week we're going to go over the key factors that affect our marketplace, and then I want to talk to you about why getting a home inspection is absolutely critical no matter which side of the transaction you're on. So this week our agents took 253 new listings. We had 189 properties go pending this week with 201 closings in our marketplace, leaving us with 1,079 pieces of property left on the market at a median price of $249,900, and the days on market is just 53. And out of the 201 closings that we had this past week, there's going to be two sides on every transaction. There's going to be a buy side and there's going to be a sell side. And on each of these transactions, there's going to be between 0 and 3 home inspections being done. And a lot of people are familiar with home inspections from the buy side, and that's important because there could be 2 on that side of the transaction. Typically, the buyer will go into a due diligence period here in Georgia or South Carolina, and then during that time they'll have a home inspection done. A professional will come through and say, hey, these are some things you need to be prepared, may get messed up. And this is very important because you're buying the home in its current condition, and so you want to know what that current condition is. And then sometimes the buyer will even pay for a re-inspection to be done, where the same or a different inspector comes out, looks at the property and says, hey, last time we were here, we saw X, Y, and Z may have an issue or may need to be addressed. You request these things to be done by the seller, and then they agreed to do them. They did these things, and then this is how it looks now. So you can kind of get a follow-up on that process, and that could be the second home inspection being done. And what I would argue is that getting one done on the sell side is also very important, because there are certain things that may or may not get requested that are preferences. But when it comes to getting a loan, there's certain things that the bank is going to require to get the financing approved for that. So for example, if it's an FHA loan and the home has 4 or more stairs on the front of the property, we know that they're going to require a handrail be put in place. And so if there's not one there, it's not a question of if this is going to come up, but when it's going to come up. And it's a lot better on the sell side if you know that this is going to be an issue down the road. You can go ahead and get it addressed in the most economic way possible, the way that you see fit, instead of leaving it up to the buyer to request it with a specific way of being done throughout the contract process. You can go ahead and handle it up front and minimize your expenses potentially down the road. And another reason is, even for the things that might come up, in every negotiation, there's different things that affect a market, right? There's supply, demand, and situation. And if you know ahead of time the way the process is going to unfold, you know the situation that might come up, you can really go into it with the end in mind. You can expect certain things that'll get you ready as you go throughout that process, and typically give you a higher net proceed on your property because you knew kind of how it was going to unfold. You had a foreshadowing that let you see the process before it actually happened. And for those reasons, I strongly recommend that you get a home inspection on your property, especially if you're on the buy side, but even if you're on the sell side, it's usually worth it to get it done. I'll talk to you guys next week on This Week in Housing.